Dustin's Vinyl, the 100th episode. Okay, now
that's kind of weird at the end when I do that.
Right. So there's a video that we're here it is. Oh,
it's Jeff, the phenomenal dancer. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
there we go.
Man.
We give him the main screen.
Oh man,
Oh, it's very exciting.
I love it.
Wow. Okay.
That I was hoping we would finally see
Wow.
Jeff dancing.
That was a disaster. I love it. That was hilarious. Yeah, Jeff looks good. Jeff,
He's phenomenal. I would
looks
say.
phenomenal. He's
Phenomenal
really got
dancer.
in shape for this episode. Look amazing, Jeff. All right, let me bring everybody in. All right, give it up, everybody. Adam Holtz, Jeffrey Paul, our 100th episode. Good to see you guys. What's going on? Yeah. You know, we tried to get Jeff to dance in the video. He was very,
He just refuses to
he
dance.
refused.
No, I'm not refusing. I got something special planned.
Right now?
No. I'm gonna. I have a plan.
It's
You have a
planned.
plan.
Hopefully, maybe we'll have it for next week. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm planning on becoming rich. That's my plan.
That's a good plan. You keep planning that.
Anthony, wrong show.
What?
Wrong network. I don't know if you know this. We're on Twitch, bro, and you don't play video games, or are you a hot girl? So,
Oh man.
you're a
yeah,
hot
you're
girl
not
to
allowed
play
to show
video
feed
games.
or anything.
You'd be making money. You'd be making money. You should
Anthony,
transition.
can you eat something?
Yeah. What? Well, I would have to go to the store and grab some groceries first. But
That's
I
the
can't-
show. You want to
in
make money?
theory-
Anthony eating treats.
Is that
Oh,
what
yeah.
they do? Is
Just
that,
eat
is, that, is, that,
chips.
is that the show?
That's the show. That if you want to make money,
All right, I
Dustin,
can
do
do
you
that.
eat-
Who's making money? How about, can I get money just drinking sugar-free Red Bull?
No.
What if I
There's
have
no
a
money in
jar?
that.
If I have a jar of peanut butter and I just eat it with a spoon, would people pay for that?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
they wouldn't. Well,
Yes, they
OnlyFans or like Twitch?
Both.
Anywhere.
Both.
Yeah,
Where
both.
are you getting this information? There's people just eating and making money,
Yeah.
and we're not a part of this.
Yes, there are. Yes,
I would
there
love
are.
to do that.
I think they got to be hot. They got to be hot people. Nobody's no offense, Anthony, but nobody's watching.
You don't
I mean,
think?
you're hot to me, and
Yeah.
you're hot to Amber, but I don't think you're hot to somebody that would actually watch that.
There's a target audience for Anthony.
That's
okay.
true. I have a unique look.
That's right.
Okay.
So you have to be eating something.
I'm pretty niche.
That's the last thing I want to do is see Anthony eating on the show. So nobody's eating on the show. That's just weird.
All
Hey,
right.
Dustin, do you remember how
What?
we started?
We did. I remember. I was used to set Indian style in front of my record stuff, and I would pull the record out, and then you would comment on my videos. You're like, "These are great. These are great." And then you were like, "Hey, I work with this Adam guy, and we'd love to, maybe I could produce a show with you. We could do a thing, and do the same kind of show, but we kind of all talk about the records and stuff." And then it was just supposed to be me and you, and then. Adam always looked like he had something he wanted to say. So I was like, all right, dude, what do you want to say?
Yeah. We talked about it during the pandemic at an outdoor show at Ray Gootz's house.
Oh, nice.
Ray Goose.
Ray Goose.
Yeah.
Now you're dropping names. That was a while. Yeah, it seems so far away, the pandemic stuff.
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what, 3 years now, right?
Yeah. It's we should be better. But the show is it was definitely a way to get, because what happened during the pandemic is like all our brains were like shut down with like we weren't able to go out and do comedy. So it was like this whole medium of streaming was opening up and people had to figure out, podcasts and ideas. And I lucked out, and Anthony definitely lucked out. But I was doing a show. I think it was the living room show, and I had a good set. And then Jay, one of the main producers and CEOs or whatever we call them of ComedyHub, reached out. He was like, "Hey, man, that was a great set and everything." And he was like, "You're really funny and whatever." And we talked. And then he and I started talking. And then because of him, we were able to come together with the Zoom album that I wanted to do. And so then he started producing that. And then Anthony always helps me with my albums. And he was on the show. And then he saw Anthony and he was like, "Oh, you're great," and whatever. So then he, gave Anthony a show and the whole thing. So yeah, it's just this whole thing kind of thing. I'm sad a lot of people died from COVID, but it got us here together,
We get to talk about music. So it's worth it.
We can talk about music. But yeah. And this is it's a weird little family we got here, but it's fun.
It's fun. It's great.
Yeah, it's 100 episodes. We feel like we've only done 3, but you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like 100. It really doesn't.
We did 100 episodes, but it feels like 99. So
yeah, it's 99 red luft balloons. Party like it's 1999. One more 99, huh? Anthony?
96 tears.
No, 99 problems, man. Come on, where were you, bro?
I'm on, Anthony.
Mine was the song, though, so it still works.
Here's the song. What's the song? 97? What's it called?
That's that song, 96 Tears. Who does that? Question mark?
Question mark. Yeah, question mark and something in the question mark. Right?
And the question mark and the mysterious. I don't know.
Mysterious and the question marks.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Is that right?
You guys are hilarious.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
They wanted to call the song 69 Tears, but they weren't allowed.
Because 69 is a sexual position.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's 100 episodes. So I looked up a couple of things that are 100. Let's top 100 billboards this week. Anthony, who do you think it is? None of us know. We're way too old for this.
Let me see. Yeah, I can't even name a current artist.
Jeff, give it a shot. What do you got?
Say it one more time. I broke up for a second.
Top 100 billboards this week. What's the number one?
This week on Billboard, Taylor Swift?
No. Good guess, though. Jimin, Like Crazy. That's the song. Jimin, yeah. Top 100 on iTunes. I'll just say it. You guys aren't going to get any of these. Jelly Roll, Need a Favor. Top 100 on Apple. Morgan Wallen, pretty good country guy. You can take a guess at this one. Top 100 sing-along songs. What do you think? There's a couple lists. Give me 3 of the top 100, top 3 sing-along songs.
I'm going to say one is going to be Tiny Dancer.
Okay.
I was going to say Don't Stop Believing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Living on a Prayer. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that was a good one, too. Living on a Prayer that Anthony.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, these 2 lists that I have, Respect, Aretha Franklin.
Ah, yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Great one.
Yeah. And this one, I don't know. I've never heard anybody sing Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash. That seems kind of weird.
I've never heard anybody sing it at a bar or anything.
About Friend in Low Places.
Oh, that's Garth Brooks. That's a good song.
What about Chumbawamba, Tub Thumping? Is that on the list?
Number 6.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's okay.
My pad just got knocked down and got back up again. So,
top 100 guitarist. Who do you think is number 1 on most lists?
Hendrix.
Yes, Jimi Hendrix. Good work, guys. Top 100 rock singers. Number 1 on most lists.
Steve Perry.
Freddie Mercury.
Adam.
Freddie Mercury, yeah.
Yes,
to be
Freddie Mercury. Yep. Top 100 female rock singers. There's 2. One's already named.
Not even close.
Joan Jett. Or Stevie Nicks.
Yes, Stevie Nicks and Aretha Franklin. I don't consider her rock, but she was on some list. Top 100 live band.
Well, it's not Kiss. We know that.
They're good. They're a better live band than they are a studio band. I'll tell you that.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Yeah.
It is an older
Rolling
band.
Stones. It has to be Rolling Stones.
They're up there, but number 1 was Queen. Which,
okay.
I guess whatever.
Okay.
Top 100 best rock bands. Who's number one?
Beatles.
Yeah, Beatles.
Yeah, Beatles.
Top 100 jazz musicians.
Coltrane.
Anybody else?
Is it Coltrane?
No.
Miles Davis.
Anybody else? One more.
Buddy Rich.
Louis Armstrong.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy
That's
Rich's
right.
Blues, by the way. Top 100 country artists.
Johnny Cash.
Anybody else?
I'm gonna go throw it out there because he's one of my favorites. I'm gonna go George Strait.
Okay. Adam?
Let me see.
You know any country singers? If like it's not cutter music, I don't know anyone.
Dolly Parton.
All right, we got a short show. Come on, Adam, you gotta give us something.
Dolly Parton.
Good guess. Merle Haggard, actually, which I thought was surprising that was on that list.
Surprising.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for hundreds. That'd be fun. Yeah.
That's great.
It's
100
like
list. A little improv here.
Let's do 101 next week.
101. Oh, okay.
101 list. Dalmatians.
There you go. Now that brain's clicking. Where was it 6 minutes ago?
Well, I gotta get warmed up a little bit. Takes me 99 seconds to get warmed
99
up.
seconds. There you go. So random pool. So part of the theme today was albums that feel 100%. They don't have to be old albums. They could be brand new albums you just discovered, which is mine. I just discovered. They could be classic albums that you've liked, whatever. My random pull, I'm going to do this kind of fast because I want to get to everybody. But, these are just some albums that I have that I feel I don't have to skip. I listen to both sides of the album. You don't really skip with the vinyl, but you do make a choice. Are you going to turn the album over or not? And this Jeff got me into the Struts. I feel this particular album is a perfect album. Every song is solid all the way through. I did get a little... I'm not upset about it, but the fact that their song was in a cartoon movie for kids, it kind of took a little bit of their edge away. So I think it's going to hurt them in the long run. I like this Traveler, Chris Stapleton. It's a double, and the whole thing's 100%. Great album. This is some old school here. Looks like Anthony's dad. This is Bob Seger.
That is actually what my dad looked like.
I know. I've seen pictures. This is Stranger in Town. This is a great album. This is one you listen to. Every song is great on this thing.
That album taught me how to play catch.
Yeah, nice.
Does that album have Beautiful Loser on it?
It does not. It's the Hollywood Nights, still the same. Old time rock and roll still shines. Feel like a number. Ain't got no money. We've got Tonight, Brave Strangers, and the famous Final Scene, whatever that.
It's a great album.
Great album. Not as great an album, but definitely solid all the way through. The Pistols. This is an album. It's like you listen to the whole thing.
Yep.
You don't skip anything because why would you? Because most of the songs sound similar. So, but it's a perfect album, a perfect punk album. It really is. It's a good time.
I almost picked it for my album.
Oh, nice. It's
I considered it
solid. And this is for Jeff.
I'm glad you did it.
This is for Jeff. I mean, like it or not, this is a very artistic album. It's really, they put a lot of work into this album. Did he leave?
Oh,
we lost
they
him.
did a lot of work.
We lost him. They did
Very
a lot of
busy
cocaine
with that
and a lot of
album.
work. Cocaine is code for work. That's good. Very good album. And this Rolling Stones album is great. This is the one with the zipper. Again,
Oh, yeah.
This album has, horses. What does it have on it? It's got Sway, Wild Horses. You got The Move, Brown Sugar. Dead Flowers. Great song. Great blues song. I love that song. It's a great album all the way through. Then we're getting down to some real classics. Purple
there we
Rain.
go.
Solid album all the way through. 100% album. 100% album. And
1999.
his nemesis, 100% album. Michael J.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he did,
Great
maybe
album.
he didn't. Maybe
Perfect.
he did, maybe he didn't. But I still like the music.
Almost every song was a single.
Yeah.
Was there 9 songs and like 7 big hit singles on it?
Top 10.
That's a good question.
10
Which songs weren't the single?
Oh man, I can't
That's,
even remember those two.
The Lady in My Life? I don't remember that song.
I don't think that
No.
was a single.
Yeah. PYT was a single, right? Human Nature was a single.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Human Nature was huge.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baby Be Mine. That doesn't sound
I
familiar.
don't think
that was not a single.
So Baby Be Mine and The Lady of My Life. Interesting.
I can't remember those songs, but I do remember the last time I listened to that album, I thought that every song was good.
Yeah, that's
but
great.
Those are definitely forgettable, those two.
I think we covered it on a Dustin's vinyl.
I think we did. Yeah.
I think episode 54.
Did we cover the emotions that one brings when you listen to Michael Jackson now? Richard Pryor, Jesus. Chris Rock, same thing. Chris Rock, when I don't know if you guys saw his special, but he had funny jokes about it. He's just like, people were like, why would you listen to Michael Jackson and not R. Kelly? Is like, because the music's better.
Right.
It's like, that's the only reason, And I'm making a moral stand with Michael because they're like, the music's just too good. Like, I try. Like, I'll be in my car and like Billie Jean or something will come on. I'll be like, this, and just turn it up. Like, I start to turn it off and I just crank it up.
I listen to it, but I just shake my head a little bit. I go, oh, man, why? But then I turn it up.
Why? Nature. Why?
I hate to admit that, but I do the exact same thing in my car, and I go high falsetto.
We know. Why?
That was
100% already. This show. You know what I mean? 100%. 100%.
We are on fire today.
We are on fire. So very excited. We're going to, let's kick it off with the original member of Dustin's Vinyl, Jeffrey Paul. What do we got, buddy?
Okay. So I went with a little bit of an older album. I went with Erasure Chorus.
Nice.
See, I wanted to go something a little bit different. I think you guys may thought it'd go a little something harder, a little metal, but I thought for the 100th episode, I go with a side that I don't always kind of reveal on the show. And I love Erasure. They are, they're an amazing pop duo. A Chorus came out, it was their first album in the 90s, fifth studio album, listed as the 45th best album of the 90s. It was their best charting album in the US. It was another number one for them in the UK. Erasure, in case people don't know, is Vince Clarke. He does the music. Andy Bell does the vocals, and that is it. It's a two-person group. This album is pop, it's dance, it's disco, and it's all put together by synthesizers. Songs on this album like Chorus, Breath of Life, Love to Hate You, which was actually played at my wedding. Sirens song, Am I Right? These songs, are just like, for dance, pop are, in my opinion, perfect. The album itself, and nothing is too long on this album. They're all short songs, 4 and change the longest. But if you like the songs like Love to Hate You, there's extended dance mixes of this. Especially this came out in the 90s, so they had 12-inch vinyl that came out on these songs. I remember those being for sale. The songs are very grandiose, but also extremely, extremely danceable record. They kind of sound like you put this on, and I could see. I can't wait to hear the feedback that you guys give, because I can hear you guys saying that, wow, they sound like other groups. Like they sound like Yaz, or they sound like early Depeche Mode. And the reason for that is Vince Clarke did the music for both those groups.
Oh, interesting.
They sound completely original and like other groups both at the same time, if that makes sense. A little tidbit on this one. Love to Hate You was originally written for Madonna, and they thought the song was so good that they said, screw it, we're going to keep it. So,
wow, ballsy.
So I really want to hear what you guys have to think about this album.
Big Erasure fan.
Really?
All that music I love. We've talked about this. Are you kidding me? I was a new wave kid, man.
Episode
Come on, you make
65.
fun of me all the time. Being a new wave kid with my eye patch and my Dead or Alive and my Erasure and my Yaz and my Susie and the Banshees and all that stuff. I loved all that music. Strict Back and Love and Rockets. Anything that was happening in this time period that was wave and dance and clubby. It's like, that's how we got girls, dude. It was like
exactly. You weren't getting girls dancing to Maiden.
If you hated this music, you were just getting metal girls, and there were like 12 of them. So Your odds were better if you like this kind of music. I love the pop hits. That album is great, which you got, Chains of Love and all that stuff, Ola More and all that. I didn't know this album per se. Like, I know some of the songs on it, but I didn't know this album like as an album. But yeah, it's good. It did, I think, Erasure's it's a little more fun when they're tight. I feel like that's why the pop hits is great, because it's just such a good mixed greatest hits kind of an album. And so I feel like you get kind of that energy of Erasure. With this one, some of the songs will slow down and get a little lovey-dovey, and then it'll go back up to traditional dance stuff. But I think it's there's such a great, like, just to do, like, I don't like a lot of synthesizer music, and so, but I think they do an exceptional job with it. I think it's like, you don't think of it when you hear the band, you just get into the music. You don't think, here's a synth band, this is like, this sucks, or what. Like, you don't get into that. There, and just like Depeche, I mean, this guy's amazing. What's his name? Vince Clarke, is that his name?
Vince Clarke does the music.
Yeah,
he's the keyboard.
It's the music.
So, like,
it's the music that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, Depeche Mode sound changes when Vince Clarke leaves. He left to start Erasure. But songs like Just Can't Get Enough, that is a very, very Erasure type song. Okay. Then they become more goth and darker, when Dave Gahan takes over. I think Pet Shop Boys and Erasure do this type of music the best.
I agree. I think so. I told this story probably years ago when we did the show, but I remember I saw Erasure live, and they were really popular. Chains of Love, all that stuff was happening. And
where did you see them?
I saw them in Fort Worth, Texas, I believe. Will Rogers or something.
If it was New York, I bet we were at the same show. No,
I was a child, and I was probably like 17, maybe. And I remember we'd all, us who liked Erasure kind of knew them. But then this is the thing that always happened in Texas. You would have these guys that would like get into a band off the radio, but they had no idea what the band looked like. They had no idea the flamboyancy of the band. They just heard the song, like, hey, this is a good song, whatever. So a lot of that happened a lot, where some guy would just be devastated once they saw the actual singer. And we were all sitting there, and then, like, I don't even think they had an opening band, and it was just like it went dark, and then what's the lead singer's name? What's his name?
Andy Bell.
Andy Bell. So Andy, he comes out in a tutu, and it's like, Fog Machine.
Do you remember
and a tutu.
Which tour it was?
It was what was the album that Ola Moore's on with the stained glass window?
That's a very early album.
With the stained glass window.
Yeah, that's a very early album.
Okay, well, it could have been that. It could have been. It was. I mean, how early?
But was it? It was in the 80s.
Yeah, probably 89.
Because when
87.
When they toured on this album, they made a movie about The Innocents.
The Innocents.
They made a movie about this. It became like a little bit of a documentary, but it was so over the top flamboyant. I mean, he comes out when you mentioned he came out in a tutu. I thought you were going to say he came out because in this one he comes out with like a big, like, feathery fedora on a giant swan.
Yeah, there might have been something like that involved. I don't remember exactly, but I just know it was. But it was kind of like this jacket, just very, very, very. But I just remember everybody. There was half the crowd was like, "What? Hey, what's happening, man? This guy ain't right. What's he doing?" So there was like a lot of that. But then as soon as the music starts, like, "Oh, that's all right. He be gay. It's a good song."
That reminded me of the scene like in Borat when he winds up kissing his straight Dave winds up kissing the guy, and everyone's like, "He can't believe it."
and I'm here with my Borat T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're all connected today. It just works.
Yeah.
He says Erasure. I got a pink jacket on. Everything is coming together. This is the perfect 100th episode. Adam, are you an Erasure fan? What are you feeling on that Erasure?
I'd heard some Erasure songs before, but this is the first time I heard an actual album. And I put this on while I was doing some painting and spackling, and I felt like I was in an 80s montage. I just needed I just needed the robots sweeping the floor.
That's amazing. That's so funny. Yeah,
Oh.
it's good dance music. I mean, this is kind of stuff at the clubs, because we used to go to the Start Club and they would play this, and that was Stevie Nicks and Grace Jones had a club in Dallas, and it was this like crazy club, and it was like it was this new wave stuff that was happening, and Erasure was the queen of that, I guess, king, queen, whatever. Anthony, what do you think? I know it's not your type of music, but were you able to lose yourself, or did you get all snooty and snobby the whole time?
No. I like this kind of music a lot.
Oh, okay.
I liked this album. I think if this was any other episode, I would just give it a thumbs up and say that was pretty cool. I dig it. But for 10 out of 10 no skip album,
Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't think it was the one.
Yeah, there was some skip. I think Innocence would have been more of a non-skip.
I mean, it's my choice. And for me,
It is your choice.
It's your choice. I'm just saying,
I
I
don't weighing in on each other's choices. That's the
I don't
show.
feel this is a perfect 10 out of 10 album, but I really like some, just only because by the time I got to the end, I was like, oh man, I kind of wish the last song was the last song on the album. I'm over it. But when it first started, the first few songs, I was like, yeah, all right. Jeff coming with something new. Yeah. But
not new. That's how old is that?
Well, no. I mean, a new side of
91.
his.
Oh, 91.
A new, something different than
okay.
what I would expect. Not
no
new.
Springsteen or Mellencamp.
Yeah. So, but I just don't think it for me personally, not a 10 out of 10 album, but I liked it a lot.
Dustin, I should have made him listen to The River.
The
River? You should have. That'll convert all of us. It's a good album.
Sometimes when I'm listening to albums for this show, I will listen to them on YouTube so that it doesn't mess up my my algorithm on Apple Music. In case I don't like it, I don't want to get recommendations for more. So I was listening to this on...
So snobby, dude. You're so snobby.
I was, like when it's the Eagles or something, I don't put it in Apple.
Yeah, I don't put yours in my Apple at all either. I just put it in my Spotify with ads. I don't put it in the one I pay for.
Oh, the ones that I pick, or my albums that I release?
I'm kidding. Nobody's as ridiculous as you. Nobody's doing that but you.
But I was listening to this in YouTube, and so some of the songs have music videos, and so I watched the videos. They were reminding me of the band Sparks a little bit.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the LA band.
Okay.
Yeah,
that works.
I predict.
That's what I wanted to say. Reminded me of Sparks. And
That's a two-person band.
Yeah,
job,
that was what it
Anthony.
was. And they were kind of they just had they look like those two bands would hang out. Like those four guys look like they would be friends. They're kind of weird in the same
I don't know
way.
about
Or an
that one
orgy,
guy with
maybe
the
an orgy.
mustache.
Maybe, yeah, the mustache. And,
I think that's
it.
probably more likely. Okay. Let's go, Adam.
All right. So for the 100th episode, I decided to go out of my comfort zone. But
Nice.
but I decided, you know what? I'll just go with Radiohead. And my one of my all-time favorite albums from actually from '97. This is OK Computer. Get this one on vinyl.
Oh, it's got a vinyl.
Good work.
There we go. Yeah. So the first time I heard this album, it was I was on winter break in '97. And at the time, I was more into besides alt rock, I was listening to a lot of classic rock, and I was really into Pink Floyd. And I'm watching MTV, and the video for Paranoid Android comes on, and I don't know if you guys ever saw the video. It's just really weird, surreal, kind of animated video.
Yeah,
and the song was just got me hooked. I mean, I heard it, I immediately jumped up, ran to my car, drove out to Sam Goody, and picked up this album.
Sam Goody,
and,
wow.
Just
Nice.
jumped out of the house. I love it.
And front to back, I just kind of connected with this album. It had a sound that I hadn't, I wasn't really hearing at the time. It reminded me a lot of Pink Floyd in a way. It's especially this album is very grandiose. It's kind of loosely, it's loosely a concept album in a way. It's about human connection and the lack of human connection heading into the millennium. So there's a lot of this kind of like millennium angst and anxiety that happens on this. And and a lot of it's about, there's a lot of songs about technology on here too. But really there's other, I mean, you have songs like Exit Music for a Film, which was written for Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. It's actually the song that plays over the end credits. You have Electioneering, a political song on there. You have Climbing Up the Walls, which is probably one of their darkest or more terrifying songs, which is more about mental illness. And all the songs kind of, they kind of move together. They're, I think there's absolutely no songs on this that, at least every time I listen to this, I just go front to back. I don't really think there's a song you could skip over, and that includes trying to figure out which song it was. Wow, you know what?
Are you stumped by Radiohead?
No, I'm just looking at the back, and I just realized something, which Fitter Happier is not on the track list on here.
Why?
And I think so if you guys know, that's the song that they use.
Why not?
It's on the album.
It's happening.
Right. No, so Fitter Happier is
They want to think that the album's shorter.
Well, vinyl, you can only get so much on vinyl. That's the thing, right? Is that what happened?
Well, no, it's funny because it says,
what is it?
It says logical track order, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right.
Was it 22 minutes aside? Isn't that what a vinyl is? Something like that.
But they probably would do a double vinyl to get this all on.
Well, that's, but it's also the shortest track, but it's the track that is, they use the Mac text to speech.
So it didn't make the album. Is that what you're saying?
It did. Yeah. They just don't list it on the vinyl, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, Adam, is it technically a song though?
Yeah.
It's its own track. It's supposed to be on the back.
I think it's only about 2 minutes or so, but it really,
it's a minute 47.
Yeah. It's, it almost, especially listening to it now, it feels like a social media post. It's and I think and a lot of people at the time say, oh, it's a perfect album except for that one song, but I think it really kind of ties the whole concept together.
Yeah, you really love Radiohead.
But there is one other song.
I want to love Radiohead. I do. I feel like I saw them live on an airplane, like Austin City Limits and stuff, and yeah, they have an amazing energy, and like they're dark and weird, and they're doing stuff nobody's doing really. I mean, they're really trying to be different, but I just can't lock in. Even this album is obviously a great Radiohead album, but my ADD kicked in. I couldn't grasp it. Like it was just I feel like a lot of the music was great, but it also kind of blended a little bit. So it was hard for me to kind of like, oh, this song's good. I feel like because as soon as I would like a song, the third song is similar, and I couldn't get into it. But I think they're an amazing group for sure, and I think they've done a lot for music, and a lot of people ripped them off, and I get the whole thing. I just and I want to, but I want to like something besides Creep, but it's hard. It's like I want to have another Radiohead song that I'm like, yeah, that's my other Radiohead song, but I haven't found it yet, and I need you to guide me through this, and eventually maybe you can help me with it. But
I can find some.
Was good. Yep. Yeah, and I'm gonna have you just give me like top 5 and maybe get me there. But I don't know. How do you feel about Radiohead, Anthony? Was this you like this? To feel like you? I'm not sure how you feel about him.
I have a weird relationship with Radiohead. Yeah. I'm like you. I want to love them. Yeah, I know that they're great, but I maybe I've said this on this show before, and I know I'm wrong, but I prefer Oasis and Blur to Radiohead.
Agreed, 100%.
I know that that's the wrong opinion, though, because I went to listen to this on Apple Music. They do little write-ups or whatever for some albums. So you go to click on OK Computer, and underneath it goes, the greatest album of all time. Yep. A lot of lists say so. And it's like, give me a break. Come on. I'm already going into it like, okay, greatest album. I've heard it before, but I wanted to refresh, and that's how I'm going into it. Like, come on. Give me greatest album of all time. You got to hype it up that much? I don't know about greatest of all time. It's a great album, but that's how I feel about Radiohead. It's hard for me to My favorite two songs on this album are Karma Police and No Surprises. And I know that that's also wrong. They're the two singles.
Oasis is another band. Like it's hard to get past them with, they have one song and then it's
that whole album. I could have picked that whole album.
Yeah, I'm sure it's good. Trust me.
What's the story, Morning Glory?
Understand how good they are. I get
Front to back. Play that album.
All right. I'll buy it on vinyl. I'll see if I can, fall in love with it. Because I want to. I'm not like saying it's bad. I'm just saying, you're just exposed to certain things. And it's like, I think, because when that album came out, I mean, everybody was into it. And, you're like this too, Anthony. When people are all into something, you kind of back up a little bit.
Yes.
And so I feel like that's how I was with this. All right. Jeff, how do you feel about Radiohead?
All three of you said things that I couldn't agree with more. And by the way, Dustin, go out and buy What's the Story, Morning Glory. If you don't like it, I will reimburse you for it. Okay? Ooh. That's how confident I am that you'll love it. But I'm not a big Radiohead fan. I think what you said about their music kind of blending together is 100% true. And he kind of drones, which really doesn't thrill me. Although Karma Police is a great song. It's heady. I definitely, Adam, I wrote this down even that it was elements of Pink Floyd, but not nearly as produced, technically with the sound of a Pink Floyd. Like there's no Alan Parsons influence on here. Other, songs like Subterranean, Homesick Alien, really super heady, almost kind of like a Bowie type vibe. Like that Uncle Tom. What's that? Major Tom's.
Right.
Very different.
Uncle Tom would be a totally different song.
Very different.
Well, it was that song is an homage to Dylan's Subterranean Homesick blues.
I thought that there might be some type of connection there. Songs like Let Down and especially Electioneers were a little bit more upbeat. Those are songs that I enjoyed. But I agree with when you both guys say, I think Dustin said it perfectly, like you want to get into them. You know that there's talent, that they're authentic, that there's something different about them. And when you hear a song like Karma Police and other songs like Creep from previous albums, like, man, this is so good. And there was, I think, a couple of songs off of the Bends, which is also a really, I think, actually, in my opinion, a better album that I like. But then it just like, I don't have ADD, but it does kick in. It's like, you listen to it, it's like, oh man, when's it going to fucking end? It's just...
That's how people feel about our comedy, The three of us are like, when's it going to end?
When's it going to end? Did you guys
light them up?
When Jeff was talking about like the vibes that this certain songs had to other bands. You know that Karma Police directly lifts a piano line from a Beatles song, right? From the song "Sexy Sadie" off the White Album.
Because I know with Oasis, they lifted John Lennon's Imagine.
Well, that's the thing. Oasis always gets shit for it, but Radiohead did it too.
Well, there's another White Album influence on there too. Paranoid Android was inspired by "Happiness Is a Warm Gun."
Oh.
Great song.
Okay, not as direct of a lift as the piano line.
Sometimes it's parallel thinking. Even with the chords. All right, Anthony, what do you got for us? We got to hustle it up
for the album. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I picked Local H. The album is called "Here Comes the Zoo," which came out in 2002. Wow. It was actually supposed to come out in late 2001, but it was pushed back because of 9/11. And so this was the first album with the second drummer. So Local H is a two-piece band. So it's a pretty big deal when they get a new drummer. That's half the band. But Brian Sinclair, this is the first album he played on. It's the first album after the band gets dropped from Island Records. And so this came out on Palm Pictures Records. And every album after that, they're always on a different label. They've never put out an album on the same label twice after that. I love this album. I saw them live when they were touring on this, and there was some list that I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but the list of greatest two-piece bands,
Yes.
and they just made the list, and I think they should be number one, because if you weren't looking at them and you were in the room while they were playing,
top 5 maybe, yeah.
there's no way you would never guess that it's not 3 or more people on stage.
Yeah,
the
they're loud.
amount of noise that they make, and they have the bass sound. You know, he's got his guitar's playing the guitar and the bass at the same time. Scott Lucas. So I love this album. This was produced by Jack Douglas, who did Toys in the Attic and some other Aerosmith stuff, some Cheap Trick stuff. And I don't think it had any like radio hits. I think this was pretty underground, but I think that it's a front to back album. And I didn't even realize they did last year. They did a 20th anniversary reissue that I would have, if I had known about it before today, I would have ordered it and held it up on the show today, the vinyl. But I'm going to order it later.
Yeah, I think this is a good album. I mean, I love how everybody's albums are over 20 years old. We got to update the show, guys. But this album feels very current. You know, I think that's when it's, you know, this is definitely a perfect rock album, like punk, whatever's going on. There's a lot of good sounds happening on this album. I feel like it isn't a skip album. Like you want to hear what the next thing is, because you know, I feel like from top to bottom, this is like a perfect album. I'm not a huge fan, but I think I might get closer to being one after this album. I feel like it's a solid rock album. It's like, you know, they know how to get you going. I felt like every song was solid all the way through. I really feel like this was a perfect album, and more people should know this band. Like, it's just one of those bands that it's great that they don't, because then it becomes your band, you know.
Yeah, yeah, you can get tickets when they come to town.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of it's a back and forth where it's like you want them to be more successful, but you don't want to be able to have to go to Giant Stadium to see them.
Yeah,
but I think they're fun, man. They're good. Adam, you seems like you'd be into this band.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, prior to this, I knew them from Bound to the Floor, and which was their most mainstream hit, and then they, at least, you know, I kind of felt that they had disappeared a bit, but no, they put out. I mean, how many albums do they have? They
at this point, maybe 10.
Oh wow,
a lot, and most of them are very good. I would say they put out probably 6 or 7 great albums all in a row. The first like 6 or 7, I love. Some of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah, this had such a great punk and grunge kind of vibe to it. I really like the back end of the album with Creature Comfort is one of my favorite songs on the album, the Bryn Mawr Stomp. And then I don't even know What Would You Have Me Do lists as like a 25-minute song, but it's only, I think, it was like 10 minutes and then just nothing after that. Yeah,
there's like some sounds of like, there's carnival sounds for a while, but then they keep hitting that chord. They're like,
yeah,
they keep doing that every few minutes.
Oh my god, yeah, that was forever.
Right. Every few minutes.
I forgot to say that. Yeah, I was like, when is this ending? What's happening?
Well, I was looking at the record for the 20th. It's a whole side. It's just that song.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Is it a double album and that's one out? That's one side?
Yeah,
oh, that's
double,
hilarious. Yeah. I was going to ask you. That's what I forgot to. Yeah, because I was trying to hurry this up, but I was like, I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh, how many are we going to do? You know?
I love that they spaced it out too. It'll be like 2 or 3 minutes. You might forget because it's the last track.
It's almost like a sense of humor about it. I like it.
Love that.
Jeff, what do you think?
I thought it was much better and stronger than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Wow. I think it's a better album than As Good as Dead. That's the only Local H album that I have, which had the hit song Bound to the Floor. I thought the song Hands on the Bible is a really powerful song. I mean, you know, this is a band they're not screwing around. You know, they're talking about some serious stuff on this. I liked Half-Life. I like Keep Your Girlfriend. I thought those were really cool rock songs. That song was it Byra Stomp? was a real good one. I like Rock and Roll Professionals.
I love that one.
And I don't know if it was Dustin or Adam who said it, but the more you listen, the more you want to hear, hey, what's the next one. And I was listening to this because you got this one in late. I listened to it while I was working out and while I was going for my walk, and it really made the time fly, man. It was good. I really like. Out of all the albums that were in mine, I think this is the one I like the best. Wow,
that never happens.
It does. It happens more than you think. Actually, you guys sometimes you guys hit a thing and you're like, you need to appreciate it a little more. Maybe that's it, Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Anthony, we're thinking a lot more alike.
Yeah,
we are.
You're the same person. Who knew? All right, I got to get to mine.
Shut
up, you two. Get a room. Get a room, you two. Get a room. All right. Sometimes you stumble on a band, and I feel like that's kind of the story of my journey with new music. It's like sometimes I saw the video for Dig Your Hips, and it's the band, the Bobby Lees, and I got confused at this band because I think last week we talked about Boy Genius. I thought that was one of the people from this band, Bobby Lee's, and it's not. Mm-hmm. It's a completely different band. And I kind of got confused on that. This is Sam Quarton, guitarist, bassist Kendall Wend, drummer Mackie Bowman. This band, guitarist Nick Costa. This is their debut album was Beauty Pageant. This is the third album. And I just get really excited about this band. I think it's like it has like just a nice punk feel. Mm-hmm. The album's only like 32 minutes. Like every song is tight. I feel it's just a really good kind of perfect kind of like, hey, we're here, guys. This is our music kind of album. And I like all these songs, man. It's like the beginning song in Low, Strange Days. Really like Dig Your Hips, Death Train. Yeah, and it's it's called Bellevue, so it's like she was going through some some mental things. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of our music has a mental health theme.
Right.
Our music comes with a hotline.
Yeah, it comes with medication. Most of the music we like. So, but yeah, that's a fun album. I think they're cool, and I hope more people get into them. Mm-hmm. Anthony, are you feeling this band at all?
Yeah, I loved this album. This is nice. I think this band is being Instagram has been recommending their videos to me, I think. Yeah. Because I knew the name, but I hadn't listened to the album until you suggested it. And I loved it. I thought it's right up my alley. This is gonna go in my rotation. I'm gonna check out the other ones too. I like that they did a diss track. Yeah, they had the what is it called? Greta Van Fake, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, that's so funny.
I thought that was great. I didn't expect them.
Greta Van Fake. Yeah.
So I loved it. Yeah, I all the way through. It was great.
Nice. What about you, Jeff?
I never heard of this band, and when I saw the name, the Bobby Lees, I was like, "What? Is Dustin picking a comedy album for his 100th?" I was like, "I don't know what you're doing here." I think if there was real radio, like the way radio influenced music back in like the 2000s, in the 90s, I think this band could be a breakout band like Nirvana or White Stripes. Yep. I could, they have that sound. I know Dustin, you really like punk, and they're kind of like a modern version of punk. They're gritty. Their music is minimalist music. And I think since the album was called Bellevue, I slowly made the connection that there must be some sort of connection with mental health. And I think a song like Hollywood Junkyard kind of like exemplifies that. Yeah. I did not like the diss track of
Greta Van Fleet. Because you like Greta Van Fleet.
I do like Greta Van Fleet very much. Yeah.
That's okay. But that's punk, man. That's fun. That's like, that's how hip hop survives. I think you rarely see it in other music.
I know. I wrote one for Simon Cowell. But but I was surprised that they wrote one about. I want to know more. Like I was trying to look up interviews and stuff to see if there was like a connection where they actually know each other, and there was like a real rivalry, or it was just like she hates the music.
It could just be a thing jealous. Like Nirvana and Guns N' Roses and Neil Young and it's like it was Leonard Skinner. It's like I think it's fun. It keeps it spicy.
That was great. That was great.
Adam, what do you think about this band?
Oh,
This
I
album,
absolutely love
Bellevue.
this album. It's
Nice.
it's gritty, raw. It reminds me a lot of the music that I really liked in the mid 2000s, late 2000s. Just like Jeff said, there was bits of Nirvana and White Stripes in there. I think there's a little bit of the Hives in there, and there's definitely some Pixies in there too.
Yeah.
And I actually I went and I started watching some of their videos. Some of their live stuff is great because it's very raw. It's
Yeah.
they have a lot of like VHS kind of effects on there and everything. But they're actually playing New York. They're playing Mercury Lounge Friday. Sold out though.
Smart
Oh, is it?
venue.
It's a great venue to see a show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
I saw
tickets are
Local
like
H
100. Yeah,
Nice.
but
Saw
they are
Local H.
I
also
saw Local
playing.
H in Madison Square Garden, Anthony.
STP? STP tour?
No, they were open for Korn.
Oh, okay.
And I was actually working the show, and I was with Joey Fatone.
Wow.
Joey Fat One, the girls call him.
Yeah. That,
You know why they call him Fat One, right? Big thumbs.
Yeah. So Adam, you it seems like it'd be up your alley.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
they're actually playing LA in May.
Oh, really? All right.
Yep.
If I'm
What do you
around,
think?
I'll figure it out. I would like to see them live. This is a band because that's what I do. I get excited about a band, like they get excited about the Struts and stuff. And then it's just like I need a new band. Like my lifeline depends on a new band. Like I don't want to be the guy that always listens to my old stuff, And so this is like, and it's hard for me to find a new band because I'm very selective in what I want to listen to. So really happy about this band. I feel like they're on the rise and they're kind of, just different and raw and whatever. And I love it. Their songs are so short. It's like they get it over with, and then you get to the next one.
Right.
Kind of like this episode, everybody. Well, happy 100th, everybody. We did a good job. 100 episodes. Very excited. And keep listening to us, guys. Spread the word so I don't get moody and want to quit. So
Don't quit.
we need your numbers. Get the word out. Dustin's
Tell your
Vinyl,
friends.
everybody. Check us out on our YouTube page and get us out there. All right, Anthony, play us
I'm just
away.
going to do this Local H song real quick.
Okay. Merle wants in on it. Merle's gonna play the other guitar.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Great show.
All right.
Love you guys. Happy 100th.